This is what I think is the biggest ripoff on board and something that I would never, ever spend money on. Happy Sunday, everyone. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides, and today in front of the red sofa, we're going to be talking about 5 cruise ship ripoffs. Yes, welcome back everyone. For those of you who are new here, I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides. I said that already, I guess. I travel all around the world to popular and not so popular tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it was like to be there. I've done a lot of cruising. That is what is the most popular here on this channel, and I have learned some things along the way. So, if you are into this as well, then you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you want to get a little bit more behind-the-scenes information, if you want to sometimes help me plan what's coming up and find out things in advance, then you can follow me at patreon.com/veryunofficial. Speaking of cruising, that is what we are talking about in this video. I'm going to tell you 5 things that I think are kind of, well, basically total ripoffs on cruise ships. And as I said, I've been on quite a few of them now, and so these are a list of things that I've kind of amassed along the way. I think you might agree with some of them, and some of them maybe you won't agree with, but that's what we're here for, to just have a nice, fun discussion. In no particular order, I'm going to start with cruise ship internet. This is a thing that, of course, has gotten a lot better over the years. However, the internet packages on cruise ships are sometimes ridiculously expensive, and the internet is usually ranging from not very good to horrible. And there's nothing that's more frustrating than spending like $45 for 10 minutes of internet and then not being able to connect. The only ship I've ever been on where I thought, all right, this internet is fantastic, was the Harmony of the Seas. They have the Voom internet on there, and I think that ship might even have like its own satellite. So that's the only ship where I thought, all right, this internet is worth paying for. I can do everything I can do at home. It was so good that I even did a live stream from on board the ship. So that sort of gives you an idea of how good it was. I would guess, I'd have to say the second on the list would have been the NCL, the Norwegian Escape, which was the most recent cruise we did. The internet on board that ship was also, it was pretty good. But it was still really expensive. So I would recommend that you just turn your internet off and just enjoy the ship. Or, you know, if there's something you really want to check, if there's something you really want to post, wait until you get to a port, go to a Starbucks, go to a cafe that offers internet, and then you're cool. Of course, this is a rule that I break. I always get the internet package on board, but it's just because I want to keep in touch with you guys. But I think if you don't need it for like your work, or if, you know, there's not something really important that you need to organize online, then I would say just don't spend money on the internet on board. The second thing that I think is a total ripoff on board is the extra ice cream, the extra coffee, and the extra cupcakes that you can buy. I don't understand, and please don't think that I'm like criticizing anybody who does this, but I just don't understand. I can't motivate myself to spend extra money on a cupcake when there are so many fantastic desserts up in the buffet. And as far as the coffee places go, I met a guy named Dino. I think a lot of you know who Dino is by now. And Dino made some videos for me here on my channel, and there's another video from Dino coming soon. And he showed me how to make a decaf iced mochaccino on board a ship for free. So that video is linked below, or if you're watching this on a browser, it's up here right now. So you can check that out as well. And that's just something that I think it's not that important to me to get like this special cupcake, or to get like this Ben & Jerry's ice cream, or to get like to go to Starbucks and spend more money. You can get all kinds of that stuff for free up in the buffet. So rip off. I don't spend the money on it, and I don't recommend that you do it either. Here's another thing that would be really great if you needed to not buy it on board the ship. And unfortunately, I think if you need it, you're gonna have to buy it on board, because otherwise, yeah, I'll just tell you what it is. It's medicine. Anything like aspirin or cold medicine. And I have a story about this, and this is why I know that it is a huge ripoff. When we did our transatlantic cruise on the Norwegian Epic, as we flew from Hamburg to Miami, is that where we boarded? Yeah. I developed a cough. It was just an annoying tickle in my throat, and it got so bad that I couldn't sleep at night because I was like wheezing and it tickled and I was always coughing. Do you guys know what that's like? It was so annoying. So on board the ship, I bought some NyQuil. NyQuil's like a cold medicine, and there's Dayquil and there's NyQuil. Dayquil will make you feel better and help you stay awake, and NyQuil will make you feel better and help you sleep. And you know what? Actually, I think I bought Dayquil because they didn't have any NyQuil. Anyways, I bought this cold medicine, and it cost me $17. And that was like 5 years ago. So you can buy this in the United States. You can go to like a drugstore, and you can buy it for like maybe $7 or something. So they charged an arm and a leg for it, and anything like that is something you shouldn't buy on board. Cold medicine, condoms, he said condoms, baby formula, I don't know. There is an exception, however, and that is motion sickness medication. If you get into a really bad storm or there's really a lot of motion of the ocean on the ship, then I have experienced that they will just hand it out for free. So that is sort of an exception. All right, moving on. And this is connected to medicine, and that is going to the doctor on the ship is really, really expensive, and I also happen to have an experience with that as well. On my cruise on the Harmony of the Seas, I went to a beach and cut open my foot on a rock. It was a very frustrating experience. It ruined my day, and it ruined a couple other things I wanted to do on that cruise because I had to get stitches in my foot. And it cost me over $300. I would recommend, if you feel like you need to go to the doctor while you're on a cruise and it's not an emergency, to go to a doctor on land. And it's something, of course, I could have done when I slit open my foot on the Harmony of the Seas, but just the way the day ran, it would have been even more inconvenient than to leave the ship again and go look for a doctor. And so I decided to just stay on board. If you want to watch that video, I'm going to try to remember to link it in the description below as well. Otherwise, you can just search YouTube for stitches on a cruise, kind of like snakes on a plane, and then you'll see it will come up in the search results. My foot is fine, by the way. Everything's good. But like I said, unless it's like an emergency, don't go to the doctor on the ship. Wait until you get home, or go to a doctor on land. Of course, people will say, yeah, but I don't know what are the doctors going to be like on land, and I'm not going to some random doctor. Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, though, the doctor on the ship is also a random doctor. And if you're very sort of like... if you're afraid of going to a doctor outside of the United States, the doctor that I went to on the Harmony of the Seas was also not from the United States. So you need to get over that. Doctors are doctors, and every country will make sure that they are well trained. You can't just, get a doctor's degree over the internet. So, chill about that. Not everything has to be exactly like it is at home to make it good, is what I'm saying. Does that make sense? I hope I don't sound mean when I'm saying that. All right, coming up to the number 5. I know I didn't do these in any order, but this is what I think is the biggest ripoff on board, and something that I would never, ever spend money on, and that is to go to the spa and get some kind of a massage. People, listen to me. If you want a massage, do it on land, at home someplace. You're going to pay like twice as much or maybe 3 times as much to get a nice massage on board than you would pay to go to just some kind of spa at home. Find some physical therapy center, find somebody's, Debbie Dinkle's day spa or something, and go there and get a massage on land. It's going to cost you much less, and you can go back, 2 times or 3 times for the amount of money it's going to cost you to get it done on board. Things like getting Botox on board or teeth whitening or something. Oh yeah, here's the thing. Teeth whitening is also going to cost you extra on board. And why are you going to do it on a cruise? Because after you get your teeth whitened, you can't drink wine or alcohol or like tomato sauce, and your teeth are going to hurt. And why do you want to be in that situation when you're on a cruise? Do it at home. Do it on land. I like to get massages, and here at home I go, maybe once every 2 months or so. Sometimes more often, sometimes less often. And a fantastic 1-hour massage here at a really nice spa cost me about $50, $60, which is still expensive. There are cheaper places to go, that's for sure. But on board, we're talking like $145 plus the automatically added gratuity to get a 50-minute massage. And then they're probably going to try to upsell you some kind of products and stuff like that too. So I know it's tempting because you feel like, oh, I'm on vacation and I want to do something even more special for me, something I would never do at home, but just think of the money it costs. Save that money, save that $140, $150, and then find a nice spa at home and then go get 2 massages or go get like a 2-hour massage. That is my advice to you. Don't spend money to go to the spa on board. And that's my list. This is kind of a shorter Sunday story time, I think, Sunday sofa time this week. But what I want to know is, what do you guys think about these things? Are these things that you guys spend money on? Do you think I'm in the wrong saying that these are rip-offs on board? Or do you think that there's something that I'm overlooking? Please let me know. Write it in the comments below. Let's start a conversation, not only so that I can learn from you guys, but that other people who are watching this video can go down into the comments and look and see what other people are saying. And now comes the part of the Sunday Sofa Time video where I comment on your comments live on air. In last week's Sunday Sofa Time, I showed you guys and talked more about our experience going to the main dining room on the Norwegian Escape, something I very rarely do, and that's what these comments are about. Paul Calhoun writes, "To each his own, as the old saying goes. We, my wife and I, both enjoy the main dining room, mostly because we enjoy the atmosphere and the service. What tastes good or not good is so subjective, and since the galley is preparing thousands of meals cafeteria style, I think they do a good job for what they do." Yeah, I don't think that it's wrong. I don't think that the people who enjoy going to the main dining room are doing something wrong. I just think, there are things about it that I don't enjoy and things that I enjoy more about going to the buffet, and that's why I do it that way. But Paul, I'm glad you enjoy it. That somebody's got to go there and eat. Otherwise, the whole thing would disappear, and that wouldn't be good either. Robert Maturo writes, "We were on the Escape last August. We dined in the Manhattan room once, and I ordered the chicken parm. It was way too salty, and I could not eat it. This is the first time I've ever sent something back. The staff was very nice and offered something else. I even had the restaurant manager come talk to me, and then the hotel manager." The restaurant manager, by the way, was a Deepak because we met him several times on our cruise. Once I told him, he turned to his assistant, who immediately turned and went into the kitchen. Then, the next day, we had a fruit platter delivered to our stateroom in apology. My wife and I dined in Savor most of the other nights, and we were very pleased. Our waiter, Jericho, that we had on the first time was so good that we requested to be seated in his section for every meal that we had there. That's great. Those are the kind of things... Those are reasons that I know a lot of people enjoy going to the main dining room, especially if you can get seated then in the same section of the same waiter, because you kind of get to know them, you build up sort of a rapport with them, they're able to suggest things that you'll like, and a lot of people enjoy that. Like I said, it's something I don't enjoy necessarily, so I don't go there, but I'm glad that you like it as well. And for anybody else who, is like on the fence if they should go eat in the main dining room or if they should go to the buffet, these are reasons to go to the main dining room. Let's look at one more here. Brian Formeau writes, "Most main dining rooms you can order as many starters, main courses, etc. as you would like, so you never have to worry about asking for something else. Last NCL ship was the Epic in the Haven, and the Haven dining room was fantastic." Oh, Brian stayed in the Haven. The Haven is like the luxury area inside the ship that is like sealed off from the rest of the ship. So Brian, I'm just kind of making fun of you. If I could afford to stay in the Haven, I definitely would. Brian writes, with that and the other great specialty restaurants, the Cirque du Soleil style restaurant had poor food, but was a don't miss event. We only had time for 2 main dining room meals, but they were great. Well, yeah, you know, I'm glad that there are people who enjoy the main dining room, and I can only say it again. I don't think there's anything wrong with going to the main dining room. I just know that the experience of just going to the buffet and serving myself and being able to try a whole bunch of different things and not having to feel wasteful if then I take a little bit of something and I don't like it, that's why I would prefer to go to the buffet. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me again here on this Sunday. I hope you're having a great weekend as always, and stay in touch. Like I said, subscribe because there's a lot more videos coming up from our great cruise on the Norwegian Escape with my mom. Special thanks to always to all those VIPs over here whose names are running up the side of my face. You guys are great, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.